everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here with you all, including our lovely guest star, Jorge. Say hello, everybody. Or say hello,
Hi,
Jorge, so they
Jorge.
know your voice.
Hi.
And then
Hi,
we can say hello
everybody.
to you too.
Yay!
Yeah, hello. We are so excited to have Jorge back this time and his fabulous character, Monte, helping to keep us alive. So bless you. Thank you for being here again. Unfortunately, this will be the last episode as well as the second episode. So, boy, I hope Monte survives. We'll see.
We'll see.
Fingers crossed.
If
Fingers
you
crossed.
didn't get the last episode before today, go watch that, and then
Yeah.
come
Yes,
back
go
and
watch that.
this.
Go watch that. Yeah.
Insanely relevant to what's happening right now.
Very relevant, highly relevant. But yeah, on that note, hey everybody, if you're new here, we are Venture Maidens. We are a D&D 5th edition actual play podcast. Before we dive too much in, I want to say Venture Maidens is unofficial fan content permitted under the fan content policy, not approved or endorsed by Wizards of the Coast. Just wanted to say that before we dive in here. But yeah, this is a very adult themed stream, so you can expect common themes of like normal fantasy, gore, violence. We keep just like a general body horror content warning up. We also have some other content warnings for this episode, including natural disasters, confined spaces, and worms. So if any of those things are an issue for you, you may not want to watch or listen to this episode in particular. But with that, we've got a lot to do, so let's go ahead and dive in. Hey everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich, and tonight I will be your Dungeon Master.
Hello, my name is Katie, and I'm going to be playing Laveri Sath, your Drow Rogue.
Hello, I'm Nassim Etamad, and I'm playing your half-orc fighter, and now also little baby budding druid, Tony Silvertail.
Hello, it is me. I'm Sage, and tonight I'll be playing your brave bard, Aoife Flannery.
Oh, are you muted, Jorge? That's okay.
Son
We do
of
it
a-
all the time.
Okay, pro streamer. It's me, RoboGoblin, and you can find me at TTRP. Wait, no, that's not it. And tonight I'll be playing Monte, the Harangon fighter, level 6. And I'm so excited to be here.
Yes.
We're so excited to have you.
You know, we got a little taste of how cool your Eldritch Knight stuff is last time. I'm excited to see more of it, because, oh boy, we're starting with a combat, folks, but I'm getting ahead of myself, so everybody, why don't we go ahead before we dive in? Tell me what happened last time on Venture Maidens. Where did we start? What happened?
We got a letter. Basically, we got a letter from Bun Bun, aka Honey, and she is a friend of Tandy's, and Tandy basically set something up that we get something for helping them, but we're going over there to look into the mystery of this big giant hole that showed up on Farmer Patch's land, sucking up all of their fields and them too. And then there was a hero from the village who went down into the hole and never came back. So at this point, they've thrown lots of miscellaneous objects into the hole
That
with
hasn't
no
helped.
avail. One knocking out Monte, which ended up in his capture inadvertently. So we showed up and we climbed down this hole, which was in fact a hellhole, because as we reached a certain depth, it felt like our center of gravities or something went off, putting us in like a different order than we climbed down in. And ultimately we looked up and we noticed the sky was what we would think of when we think of the Feywild. And we realized we'd been transported there. So we climbed up and we met a Gardlick. Is this fey creature that just had this giant garlic bulb for a head, who was terrified of us because he knows how much mortals love eating garlic. But we were able to talk to this guard, and they took us back to Duke Walla to see if we could help them deal with this prisoner that they had found.
Yeah. What did you find, Jorge? Do you want to describe what your situation was when we found you?
Well, as a matter of fact, Monte was captured there, and he was being put on trial by the royal stinkiness. So he was trapped there, and Monty was trying to explain that it wasn't his fault that he provoked everything, but they didn't believe me until the Venture Maidens came in, and that's when Aoife did MVP stuff.
Oh yes, Aoife immediately saw this opportunity of, well, you're missing someone, we're missing someone. You scratch your back, I'll scratch. You scratch mine, I'll scratch yours. And so managed to negotiate a big and a small favor from Duke Walla Walla of the Blossom Court in order to find and rescue and bring back his daughter, the Princess Burgundy, and to find out what is behind this sinkhole that opened up this portal between realms, even between the wilds and the mortal realm, and to deal with it. So we have been freshly tasked with this mission with our dear prisoner in tow.
Yes. Yeah, so now you're responsible for Monte until the situation is solved. So sort of a prison on loan situation.
Are we responsible for Monte, or is Monte responsible for us? I feel like there's
It's a chicken egg
babysitter
situation.
here.
Yeah.
They're not mutually exclusive.
Yes, is the answer. And then what happened?
So we
Are you
followed
muted, Nassim?
Oh, Nassim, go.
Yes,
Take it
yes,
away.
Well, then we started to. We asked where we could begin to return the princess, and we were told to go after Professor Mold. And we started our journey that way through fields and hilltops and beautiful prairie lands in the Fae realm. Oh, am I? Okay. And is that better?
Yes.
Okay, cool. But we found a bag of fertilizer in the middle of the road.
Yep.
And something strange happened to Tony. She wanted to investigate this little bag, so she picked up a couple of stones off the ground, and out of nowhere, they just kind of flew right out of her hand.
Yeah, weird.
And so something's happening there with her as she is beginning to explore her new druid abilities without knowing what they are or what's happening to her. Busted open that bag of fertilizer and drew the attention of a merry band of misfits. The flower kind.
Yeah.
What is their official name?
I don't think anybody made any checks to see if they knew, but in the Venture Maidens campaign guide, these things are called the Magnophyta. They are flower folk.
Okay, I need to write that down.
Yeah. So I don't think your characters would know that name, but you could, if you started asking your Fae friends, that you would figure out pretty quickly. That's what they are. So they're big, like, twine body vine thing, long, tall people with, like, giant flower heads. Yeah.
And
Amazing.
I believe it was Aoife again, or was it our friend Monty, who struck up a conversation first and managed to...
Oh, it was Monte. Like, yeah, tell them about the OP stuff you did to get them to not attack you. Because you scared the shit out of them.
Yeah, so they were trying to attack us, and Monty had the brilliant idea of trying to scare them off so they don't attack us. So he came up with this. He showed them his big ass sword, and he put in some little flames, so it's a bigger. Yeah, so it's more intimidating, and I guess it worked. And
you like destroyed a wheat field, and they went, "Oh no!"
Oops.
Oh shit! Wrong people to waylay. Good. Yeah. Do you remember their leader's name?
how could we forget Dandelion?
Yeah, Dandelion. Yes.
Who
Dandy.
is very taken by Tony, is
Mhm.
just professing his
Mhm.
undying affection for her strength and beauty,
Yeah.
which knows no
Yep.
bounds.
Yep.
Against Tony's will, almost,
Yeah.
it's working.
It's working. You're so charming. F. Yep.
God, what is this?
Why?
Keep talking. Shut up.
It's complicated.
Strong feelings.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So you made friends of Dandy and his dandy men, and then
We continued on our way, thankfully, with Lou writing down the directions to get to Mr. Mole, who apparently has some information or
Professor
is
Mole.
knowledgeable.
Let's give
Or
him
Professor
his
Mole,
proper
excuse me.
title. Yes.
He got a degree.
He's got a degree. He
professor.
worked hard for it. He went to Fake
Exactly,
college.
Professor Mole.
Yeah. Yes.
Which and so to get the lowdown on what's up with the sinkhole, what's happening, who of course Duke Walla Walla, they have a apparent frenemy ship of and so yes, we're headed there. When we got there, Professor Mole, their residence was under attack. And so we're leaping into action to assist him.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. So that is right where we are diving in. At the very end of last time, you had completed your journey. Now with Dandy and his dandy men in tow, you had walked like into this little central clearing where you had seen kind of a ground, like a dirt piled up hovel in the middle of this field. And emerging from the door, you had seen this mole person. So imagine a mole, except human-sized and walking around on like 2 feet. He's wearing like a little waistcoat and has very large bifocal glasses on his face. And he's holding this like walking cane that he's slapping against the ground right now. And as you had approached and kind of taken this in, you had seen that sticking out of the ground at various points were these tentacle shaped things, like this bruised purple colored these things were erupting from the ground. And he had yelled at you from across the way, "Well, what are you waiting for? Get them!" As he had been like smacking down one of these things that had been popping out of the ground in front of him. And instantly, Dandy and all of the bandits who had been following him now kind of creeping along both sides of you, not sure what to do in the fields, spring out and had sprung to action, drawing like rapiers and, crossbows, and are just attacking whatever these things are. So we're starting off right away, bam, in combat, in initiative. So let's go around and get those initiative rolls, everybody. What did we get?
17 for Monty.
Okay, 17.
I got a 14.
Okay, much better.
Dirty
so far.
20.
Wow, way better so far than last time.
Yeah, 100%. And Aoife with the 19.
Look at you guys learning. I think Monte was the only one above 10 last time, so this already bodes well. Good. Okay. All right. So you see Dandy actually, like, they had been the first in initiative to react as well. You hear the, "Aha! On guard, you!" As Dandy, like, leaps in front of you, Tony. And yes, is taking a swashbuckler's stance and is, like, throwing his sword out, like, towards, doing battle with one of these tentacle things, which you see now are just keep coming out of the ground. So they're very long and thin and, like, sort of pointed at the end, but there's something, like, undulating about them. Like, their body is, like, expanding and contracting. So it's hard to tell if this is all part of one creature and you're just seeing the tentacles, like, come out of the ground, or if these are things like snakes or worms of some kind individually. So he is doing battle with that, and you see his merry men are also, like, about to fight a bunch of these things that just keep erupting out of the ground. There must be at least a dozen or so of them at this point. So Tony, now then, we come to you. What are you doing?
I think I kind of want to try something weird. Looking at the ground, is there like an obvious pattern in any way that the tentacles are coming out of, or is it just kind of a random patch?
So the ground itself, like imagine you're in kind of a circular yard area that's all just stamped like dirt, flat. There really aren't any like plants or anything here, and it does just kind of seem like they're all over, like dotting out from all over this flat space here. So there doesn't seem to be like a central source, or if there is one, it must be much lower below the ground.
What if I tried to, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt them. I wanted to mold the earth and like solidify it and try and cut off the tentacles.
Ooh.
How would you feel about that?
I think is Mold Earth like a cantrip or is it a first level spell? What level?
Yeah,
A cantrip?
it's a cantrip.
Okay. So I don't
Yeah,
know if
and
that
it has a
would-
range of 30 feet.
I don't know if that would be powerful enough to like harm them, but I could see like you could totally try to like move away the earth to like see more of what one of these things are. I would totally buy that, but I don't think
Yeah, actually, you know what? I like that better. I can
Yeah.
excavate it. So
Yes.
I'll excavate a cube of earth,
Okay, cool.
and chuck it like 5 feet away.
Nice. Yeah, so and you can the target of the area a 5 foot cube. Yeah, so you could basically you take a 5 by 5 foot square and just be like like move the earth out. Yeah, okay. Do you want to do
But
one
given that this
oh, yeah.
is like given this is her first time using this ability
Yeah.
and she doesn't even know what's happening again, she's like, well, what other cool things can I do? And she's trying to imagine what's the best angle to get at this thing, trying to imagine the whole picture. And something about the ground as she's thinking about it feels like tangible.
Yeah.
She has a sense like she can almost grip it with her own mind.
Yeah.
And as she tries to hold on to that feeling, it gets stronger and stronger, and she can feel like this magical lace form around a chunk of the earth, and it starts to lift off the ground.
So cool. Yeah, so you hear like as you're thinking this and you go to that faraway place where it's like, what? You hear like a like almost a popping sound come up as just a hail of dirt like explodes outwards from like one of these like the center of the yard, and you hear like a come from like Professor Mole, presumably, who is just surprised by the sudden gout. And you can see, one of Dandy's men that was like going for it is like, whoa, and like tumbles backwards. And you can see in this like 5 foot, crater you've kind of made in the center of the yard, now one of these things in its entirety. It's probably about 3 feet long or so, and it's a worm as it's flopping there. You can see, the middle of it is a little bit fatter with kind of that ring that earthworms have, and it is mostly that bruisey purple color, but has kind of these darker stripe patterns along it. And it's just like with suddenly nowhere to like hold it up, you see it kind of writhing on the ground for a second, before it becomes very like serpentine all of a sudden and like stands up of its own weight and seems to be swaying its head back and forth, sensing for something. So they're like big earthworms, as you're looking at one of these things here. So you can tell they are not all connected. These all seem to be individual worms.
Delightful.
Nice. That was very cool. Do you have inspiration already?
No.
Take a point of inspiration for that. That was all very cool. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was your
an action, but I'm trying
yeah.
to. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I can speak with animals or not, because I have it written down and I'm not quite sure where it's from.
You
If
might
it's
have it from
another
druid
cantrip or
spell.
That's a first level spell.
Yeah. Because you have speak
I know
with
from
plants
your
through your item.
thing from your mom. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only plants.
Oh, okay, then I guess that must be a spell. Well, that would be another action then. I guess that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Do you want to move closer towards like this creature in the center or any of the other ones like popping out of the ground?
I just want to stay close to. I'm gonna stay close. Is everyone doing okay health-wise? We haven't really done anything, right?
Yeah, y'all
Yeah,
have
we
it.
haven't done
we're all
anything.
Awful up.
Is
How
your
about just out of like random, like, oh, he's got my back, Dandelion. All right, I'm coming. I'm gonna go be up next to where he is.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, sure. Casually. Yeah, you go and you flank like
I'm
with,
just helping
with
out.
Dandy.
Like, don't. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, as he's like, ha 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 ha, and he'll go, madam, and like in the middle of his sword play, like dueling with one of these like worm things. Cool. And then we come to, yeah, sure, let's do that. Because so now you and Dandy are squaring off with another of these things. And you see as it approaches, it seems to like shoot up like another foot or so out of the earth here. And you see these things can get like long and very spindly as it's like doing the almost like a cobra headed thing. And then it goes and lunges out of the earth towards you. So Tony, let's see how it do. So it is throwing itself directly at you, almost like at your chest or like neck area, probably. Yeah. So I need you to make. Oh, interesting. Okay. I need you to no. Okay. All right. No. Looking at new stat block. Blah 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 blah. Oh boy, that's a 20. That is a 20.
Yep.
To hit you. Okay.
So
So this thing,
nice, big success.
yeah. So this thing, as it's like getting really close towards you, you see that its head opens up like into a 3-flower like kind of fold, and you see like a little like flailing tongue and like a ring of circular teeth in this thing as it latches onto you and bites you. So, not quite earthworm looking now. That is going to be 3 piercing damage as this thing bites you, and then, yeah, it's going to keep on going as it like takes a bite and then rears up and it's like slamming its body down into you. All right, a 14 is not going to hit you, right?
Yeah, I think it will.
Oh yeah, because you don't.
I don't
have
think
your
I have my shield out,
Yeah.
so
Okay. All right. Then that is going to be so that is going to be 9 points of bludgeoning damage. As this thing, so it bites you and then it rears back its head and it launches itself onto your body. So now you can feel it. It's crawling like up, sitting on your armor. It's no longer in the ground as it's like crawling on you. So these things behave like almost more like snakes than they do worms in terms of movement. So there's that, and then Aoife, we come to you. So you see one of these things crawling around on Tony, and then there is a big exposed one in the middle of the yard here, and then obviously there are about 10 more that still haven't emerged from the earth yet.
Ooh, delightful. Well, she is going to move up to next to Tony and Sir Dandelion, and being inspired by seeing his fancy footwork and with his rapier, he feels like, that looks so cool. I've never seen anyone do anything like that. Like, all right. And she like watches his movement and then she tries to mimic it. So she's gonna pull out her rapier and try to stab at this thing.
Cool. And you're stabbing at the one that is currently on Tony?
Yes.
Okay.
And that will be an unnatural 20 to hit.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
You're learning
She's
some
a quick study.
stuff. Yeah. You just needed a rogue, like a sword-wielding rapier rogue to inspire you.
Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, I get it now. And that's 10 damage.
Oh,
Very
shit.
respectable.
Oh, that is respectable. And, yep. It doesn't seem to have that magic resistance that Fae do. So that's all pure damage, baby.
Nice, hell yeah.
Ooh, okay.
And then she will use her bonus action to give Lou a bardic inspiration die.
Thank you.
Are you proud of me, Lou? Scams too.
I'm always proud of you, baby.
I'm doing it.
I'm growing up. Amazing. Anything else for you?
That is
Eva?
her turn.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so right now we have Professor Mole smacking some stuff, and then we have Jorge and Lou are kind of Monte and Lou are sort of in the back at this point. So that means that Aoife's probably a nice looking target. So the one that is like flopping around in the center now, after it like kind of finds its footing, it seems to just move with like a very intense speed, crawls like up out of the chasm, and then like launches towards you, Aoife. So I'm gonna do this. We all said we were okay with gross, so let's do this. Yeah. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, young
Ooh,
Aoife.
all right. Ooh, that is a 10, but we're going to use our inspiration to re-roll that because
Wise choice.
that's, I don't like where this is going. Ooh, much better. That is a 21.
Okay, so you are like, whoa, as this thing seems to leap out of the air, and like it did to Tony, right, where it seems to be just like coming like almost aiming right for the center of your chest. It goes like really flat, and you see its mouth open up as it's approaching, and you just out the last minute manage to like sidestep, and this thing like goes past you and kind of lands in that space. But it's definitely clocking you. So good stuff. Monte, we now come to you. So there are currently 2 of these worm things that are like in the tangle of your companions in front of you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go after the one that's closest to me,
Okay.
the worm that's closest to me.
That's
And
probably the one neck on Tony right now.
okay, that's perfect. So I just snap my fingers and I summon my greatsword, and I just jump. No, not jump. Run towards it, and then I jump or try to jump over it, and like try to come down with like the smash sword. Doing that.
Cool. I don't think you have any trouble jumping over this thing. You got those Harangon legs. You're great. Go
Look
ahead
at
and
those
make that attack
gams.
roll. Look at those gams. Down.
Never skip leg day.
It's your favorite. It's only rabbit people say that.
Wait, what the hell is this? Oh, that's a natural 20.
Holy shit! Oh,
What is this? The best I could do.
what is this?
No.
The trend continues.
It just has like this weird symbol on the crit one.
Nice.
So
Nice.
Um,
All right. So I like to do max damage, and then you roll for the second damage.
okay, so that's oh damn. So that's 12 plus 4 16 plus 7 11. So that's 25
Okay.
slashing damage.
Okay. All right. So, damn. So I think actually probably then you would want to target maybe the one that's on the ground by Aoife, because that would be a little easier to do with your cool like stab down.
Okay.
If that works. So yeah, so you come down on this thing, and there's like this flopping, like you like bisect this thing into 2 pieces for sure, as this happens, and you see the 2 halves of it like wriggling on the ground, you know, like when you cut an earthworm.
Uh-huh.
Does anybody here have anything that would block like mind stuff? Just by any chance, like any kind of those sort of resistances here? Elf?
Nope.
Yeah, Elf, you have charm stuff? No?
Well, as an action, I can counter charm, but I
okay.
have to do that. But
Yeah.
I do have advantage against spells and other magical effects.
Okay, all right. So then I think if none of
Yeah,
you...
advantage on being charmed
Okay.
and sleep.
All right. So Monte, I think you would hear this first. This wail, like this alien shrill sound, like starts ringing in your ears, and like as it's happening, you know, it starts very quietly, but then gets louder. This just sound of like pain and like anger, and it takes you a moment to realize that it's not a sound outside your ears. It's coming from inside your head. And the rest of you, I think, would trickle out too, as you begin to hear this like keening wail of anguish, like at the corners of your mind.
Oh shit. So Monte just tries to, oh man, maybe I did something wrong, but I don't know if I want to attack the other one. And he just tries to, he takes out one of his canteen and tries to, I don't know if this is going to work, but he tries to, no, you know what? He still has the sword on the ground.
Yeah.
So he takes it out and he points to the other worm and just slaps the great sword, and it starts vibrating.
Yeah.
And I kind of do like a slashing thing.
Whoa.
And that's Toll the Dead
Ooh.
towards that.
So yeah, cool. Because that's you haven't cast a spell yet, and that is a bonus action.
That's it's an other action.
Oh, so unfortunately you couldn't do that spell after making an attack.
Okay, so but I have 2 attacks per action, so I have to use my
Other one to
sword
attack.
again.
Yeah. So if you take the attack action, you're locked in. It's like either attack action or cast spell, basically, for your standard action.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just move closer to it and just prepare myself to whatever comes.
Cool. Yeah, because that sound was like horrible, and you're like, ooh. I will say, as you know, you are like taking that in and looking towards the other one, you see that worm that you cut in half. The 2 pieces start to like creep back towards each other and start to fuse. You can see the tissues start to like reconnect as these things seem to have some regenerative capabilities.
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
That's the end of my turn. Then.
Okay. We learned a lot this turn. Good turn. Right. So, yeah. So you all are taking in that, and all of this is happening, and you're hearing that psychic, like, noise in your ear that came from this thing. And as the worm starts to piece itself together, like, that sound kind of dies down in your minds. But, you know, Lou, you don't have a ton of time to take this in, because bursting from right behind you, you hear the crumbling of dirt, and then something is launching itself at you from behind here. So this one's going to try and go for a bite on the back of your neck. Ooh, a nice 23.
Yep.
Yeah, damn.
Aoife will use her reaction to cast Silvery Barb.
No! All right.
Please, no! So reroll
So-
that d20.
Okay.
And then she will give Monte advantage, we'll give Monte advantage on the next attack roll you make.
Yeah, that becomes
Awesome. Thank you.
Are
That
you
becomes
close
an-
to me, Monte?
8.
Yes.
So
You're
it is
within 5 feet of me?
Yeah, right. I moved closer to the other one.
Yeah. You're definitely within.
Yeah,
5
we're in
feet.
a little clump.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so this worm is definitely not gonna hit Lou. With that, so like, yeah, your silvery light wraps around this thing, and it's aimed. It just stops in its tracks and goes blah. It has to like splat down onto the ground as this happens, and nuts. Oh, nuts! My favorite spell. All right, and then Lou, you get a chance to retaliate.
Yay, and I will.
You
So
dick!
As this thing is falling to the ground, she's going to, like, with its like maw still open, like take her hand and like twist it so that the teeth don't touch her hand, and then take out her fillet knife and just try to slice it down the center.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, fillet that.
I'm actually, since I'm by myself, I'm going to actually use activate my sonic blade from my sleeve.
Cool.
Okay.
And that weird little keening sounds an awful like that sound that worms are making psychically in your head, BT dubs.
Oh, cool. All right, that is a 16 plus 7.
Yes. That will certainly hit a worm, yes.
And then plus D4. All right, that's me. 6, 10, 11, 17 plus 4, 21 thunder damage.
God damn rogue shit. My God. All right. Devastating. Okay. Yeah, so you slice this thing, halvesies down the middle, like, hot dog style, and it yeah, you're like and it like splooges out, some of that yellow fluid because like worms don't really have blood. So that and they're like kind of writhing on the ground apart, and you see horrified again. Well, you hear that screaming sound. You all hear it again. Clearly, it is coming from these things, and then those pieces start to roll back together, and like a zipper, this thing starts to like repair itself.
There's no way I could like do a swoopy move to like throw half of it
To
as I
kick
cut
it?
down.
Yeah, I'll say if you want to go ahead and do a little kicky action or try to get the other half away. I think you've learned enough, and you did some good damage. So why don't you go ahead and make me like let's do an athletics check to kick it far away.
Okay.
Kick it.
Kick it. I'll accept acrobatics. I'll be kind.
Thank you, because that just went from an 8 to a 17.
Yeah, all right. So you you have to describe how fancy your acrobatics kick is that like it gets this thing out of here. Why is it acrobatics instead of strength athletics? Tell me.
Yeah, so you see her
Pirouette.
slice it down like she's just like professionally boning a giant salmon, and she just takes it and with her arm just like a flick, and then does a cool spin around and just kind of like roundhouse kicks half of it off to the side.
It's anime style, it goes soaring into the air and you see like a little blink in the distance in the sky as it's gone blasting off again.
James. That's the names of these two worms.
James,
You know,
goodbye.
but now you
Jesse,
do.
James.
Oh Lord.
Well,
Where's
there are
Meowth?
three. There are three worms now, so that was Meowth. There you go. Oh, great. Anything else for you?
I will move in closer to the rest of my team.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you all are now officially in this cluster with these two worms and all of you. All right, and then you see at this point, the professor is like not doing a great job, like smashing these worms down in the center. He moves slowly. He's clearly an elderly, gentle mole, and so he cries out like, "Quickly, quickly! The tunnels in the back of the house! We've got to get out of here!" And then we move to Dandy, who continues to like fence with this worm in front. And well, he'll say, "Ha! It looks like you've got this one. Off I go!" And then he like rolls and does a weird tumble. And because his body is like made of vines, he just sort of like bunches up like a ball, kind of around his like dandelion head for a second, and then rolls away and like starts to engage another of these worms that is popping out of the ground here. And you're hearing lots of "what-hos" and "ha-has" and "avast, on guard" come from his band. That is all,
Amazing.
they all seem to have the catchphrases.
It's part of the training.
It's part of the training, yes. Dandy's men are required by law, the contract they signed, to say these.
Spectacular.
So, Tony, now we come to you. So there is a worm on your body, and then there is one that has repaired itself since Monte's attack, and those are the two right by you.
Where are these tunnels?
So Professor Mole said out back behind his house, so you are currently basically facing like in the front of the yard area here, and there is like that little dome-shaped hovel in the very center, so he must be referring to something behind that.
And Dandelion rolled off in that direction, correct?
He kind of rolled off in a clearing direction. He's just like fighting whatever is popping up out of the ground around the yard area here.
Okay. Well, I guess first things first is get rid of the one on top of me. So we're just gonna straight up attack.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's 21 to hit.
Yes, that will certainly hit.
Hell yeah. with, oh, beautiful. 11, 15 slashing damage, please.
Ooh, ooh. And this was the one that was on you? Oh, sorry, you missed the
Yeah.
ooh when I was muted. I just did it all for you again. You're welcome, podcast listeners. You got it twice. Yes. Wow. Okay. 15 damage. Yep. So this thing is looking not good. Not good after all this. Anything else for you?
Yeah, we're gonna take our extra attack
Yeah.
and drive that sword further down its fucking throat.
Good. Yeah. Get in there.
Ooh, and that's the 20. No, excuse me, 19 to hit.
Yes. Yes. These things are soft and squishy.
Beautiful. And that's another 12 damage.
Nice. Okay. Somehow this thing is like taking these hits and hits and hits, and like you can tell you're definitely damaging it. It is like getting, smaller and smaller, but the regeneration process, like as long as the pieces seem to be next to each other, they still seem to be like coming back together and like bloodily still up. So this thing is getting close, but like they pack a lot more of a punch than a normal worm. Anything else for you as this thing like is now on the ground and you see like its chopped off pieces crawling back together?
Yeah, I want to do a final action surge and get another hit.
F this! Yeah.
Stomp my boots into its remains and
Tony
it
should
out
have
there
a
into the
signature move called "fuck you."
Fuck off, yeah.
The last final stomp.
the final stomp. I like
We
that.
call it death proof.
That was a dirty 20 to hit
Yes.
with another 14 damage.
Oh, you guys are such killers at this level. I love it. All right. It is still not quite
One more
dead.
attack.
Still not quite. Let's do it. Finish him.
That's it. That's all the attacks I've got.
That's it. No,
You
you
need
did
one
extra.
more.
You did action surge, and so since you have extra
Yeah.
attack, you get to basically
Do I
take
get
the
to
attack
take my
action
extra
again.
attack again?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Whenever you take the attack
Do
action,
it.
you get 2 attacks. So they really shouldn't call it extra attack. They should call it multi-attack.
They really should.
Looks
That
into the
makes more
camera,
sense, yes.
office style.
That's another 22 to hit.
Holy
that was quite the
fuck.
progression.
What the
I got
fuck?
19, 20, 21, 22.
You're just getting angrier. It's just
I'm so upset.
My
So
rage
disgusted
will
by these fucking things touching me. Get off my
hate
ass.
this. I hate this.
Tony takes a level in barbarian next time.
That's 7 more damage.
Okay, all right. So with that final strike, how do you like absolutely destroy this worm to the point it cannot regenerate anymore?
I like sword in like the top half that's left, and then in the bottom half, my boots stomping right on top of it, and then pulling it apart, spreading it apart.
Ugh, yeah, you just splatter it, and just like the pieces, they're all like disintegrated across the floor. There's a plop as like that yellow spray goes along, and you hear that screaming in your mind as it goes, and just like that furious noise is suddenly just cut off with that final stomp, and it ends very abruptly.
Can I pick up the like mangled flesh and like wave it in front of the other worms and be like, "Do you want this?"
Yeah, and then yes, sure you can. This is D&D. You
I
can
wanna
do whatever you want.
intimidate them.
Yeah.
I want to scare the shit out of
All
them.
right. Yeah, make me an intimidation check.
Thank you. Hell
I'm just
yeah.
here to say yes. It's my
Ooh,
job.
that's a dirty 20.
Damn. Yeah, so you're waving this around, and as you do so, you can see like a lot of the worms, they turn, whether they're in mid-fight or whatever, and their heads that split apart into these multi things like do so and are almost like hissing at you like snakes. And that's when you begin to hear this manic chorus in your mind. All of these different like tonalities. They don't seem to have any like words that they're reaching out with, but these like this chorus of hisses and shrieking noises that it's overwhelming as they're all coming at you. And honestly, if you had to say any emotion that you're getting from this, it's almost like a mad chorus Like there's something so disjointed and jarring about these sounds. They don't respond in any way that makes sense to you as you all hear this like keening wail.
I was not expecting that.
No. Yes, Katie, you're muted.
I was just gonna say, how could you have? What the fuck?
I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Ooh,
like
boy.
All right, so that's Tony's turn. And
Yeah,
then
that sucks. Like,
what? That's not what
Shut
you want.
up.
Shut up. Stop it. So now this one that had landed and tried to attack you, Aoife, earlier. They seem enraged by whatever Tony has done, and this like screaming chorus continues as this thing like waves its head back and forth. Almost again like it can't quite focus on you. There's something wrong with these things. Now that you're hearing that and looking at their behavior, they're just not quite right. Almost like when you have like a drugged pet, like that's home from the vet, like the weird kind of stuff they do. That's like the vibe you're getting as this thing tries to like throw itself again at you. Make me another dexterity saving throw.
Ooh, that one was not great. That is only a 13.
You got any spice you want to throw on that? Or
I unfortunately do not.
okay. So let's see. The wormling latches onto a creature and burrows into its body.
ugh.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Type.
So you're gonna take some
Almost
damage. So
I-
this thing.
Nice.
hate this journey for you.
So all right. Do you know what like a lamprey is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that circular mouth, it comes and it attaches onto you. And so you see like the arm of the body of this thing like wiggling as it like bites your chest, and which you've seen it do on the other people, but it doesn't let go. And you start to feel like almost like a cracking, like pain. It's hard to describe what it is as your whole chest starts going numb, and you start to see this thing disappearing into your chest as it is like starting to eat its way inside you. So yeah, that's the 10 piercing damage. Obviously, if you don't pull it out, that's gonna get worse, but it is eating into your chest right now.
I love it.
Love it. You guys
Can I
said
react?
gross.
No, I can't react. I would have to attack you to react.
Yeah, exactly. It's fine. We got this.
I would like to say this is not fine.
I love it.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Okay. All right. So worm friend. There you go. But Aoife, luckily, you get a chance to react as this is happening to you.
So, hearing the psychic shrills and screams coming from these things and the sort of weird energy that they're giving off, and having one plunge its way into her chest, she immediately turns to her friends here and is like, "Get it out! Stop it!
Get it off me!
I thought you were about to do something so epic and saving.
No, I think this is a very appropriate reaction to this moment.
But as she turns and she is horrified, you see, she is just, her expression just kind of goes blank. And all around us, everything, like the air becomes very like rarefied, and you begin to see like the sort of resonant strands of magic that suffuse like the air and the wilds, and then we take on this almost sort of lace-like pattern that like shroud over all of us as she uses her action to counter charm. So until the end of her next turn, we all get advantage on on saving throws against being charmed or frightened, because she feels like this is horrifying.
Oh, okay.
This is bad. Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, I love that. I love that description. Do you have an inspiration point already?
No, I didn't.
Get one. That was cool. It was cool as shit. Love that. And our first time using counter charm. Cool.
Yeah. And then as her bonus action, she is going to cast a healing word on Tony because Tony took some damage.
Yeah.
And
Aw,
you'll
thanks,
heal
BB.
back 10. 10 damage.
Okay, so fucking return the favor, guys. As this worm is eating your bard. Speaking of
I have
which,
faith.
Monte, we come to you.
Okay, so I see all of that. So I just jump in action and try to run towards Aoife and attack the worm.
Okay, cool. I will say there is an option if you would like to use athletics to pull it out. That is an option, or you can directly attack it. Those are both options.
You have advantage on the
Oh.
next attack you make because
That
of
is true.
silvery barbs. So
Okay, so I'll do that, exactly that. Is this athletics or acrobatics?
So if you want to make the attack, that will be different. That's damaging it versus you would be spending your action to try and pull it out. So you wouldn't have
Okay.
advantage to pull it out, but you do have advantage to deal damage to it.
Okay,
Which could
so-
accomplish the same goal. It just depends on, timing, how important that is.
Oh, okay. So I'll try to just pull it out.
Pull it
of-
out. All right, cool. Give me an athletics, like as you're trying to just, because this thing, it's still half of its body is flapping in the air, like out of Aoife, but it is clearly like going for it. So yeah, you can grab the end here.
All right, so that's an 18.
Good. Yes. Wonderful. So, ooh, okay. So you successfully pull this thing out. And I think the worst part of this is like as you go and like the resistance you encounter of this thing. And then Aoife, that feeling of like, something that was like burrowing into your flesh being pulled out. It's just like, it's almost worse, right? If you get shot with an arrow and then like taking the arrow
Yeah.
out, right?
Oh yeah, because like the teeth, they tend to go like the opposite way, so they sink in like
and
barbs.
and of
she
course its
just
head splayed open in
reeks.
different directions, so it was like a thing. So like, so there's like another gout of like blood and viscera as like you pull this thing out of Aoife, but you do it, Monte, like its head, is like as you're pulling it back out of its body, and of course like the chittering that you all begin to hear in your minds is just so extra and weird like as this is happening. So Aoife, you're actually going to take an additional 3 damage as this thing is just like explodes out of your chest. But this was very good because if it had stayed in you for a full round, things would have been very bad. So I just want to say that. Yes. Good job. So Monte, that was like your action.
Thank
to
you.
do that. But if you have a bonus action or you want to move, this thing is in your hand now.
A bonus action. Oh, okay. Can I use my rabbit hop to just get
Ooh.
on it?
Yeah.
To just jump,
Just,
rabbit
like,
hop
Jump
over
out of it, like
Uh-huh.
stomp it. Yeah, I
Jump
love
on
this. I love this. Jump on it. Dun, 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 dun. Give me. So you're using it to like attack and kind of throw your weight on it. So go ahead and give me an attack. I like this though. I like
Okay.
this. Katie, this feels like important information. Jump on It was the #1 song the year you were born. Amazing.
Maybe
So
it
that's-
was Jump. Is Jump and Jump on It, are those two
No,
different
because
songs?
jump, jump, jump. Wait, no, wait. Is it the same song?
Let me find out.
can't
Hold on.
remember.
We'll
No,
return
this is
to
important.
this.
Anyway, what are you doing, Monte? How was your attack?
That's only a 12.
Okay, that is just not enough to hit this thing.
Okay.
So, like, as you,
you have
like,
advantage.
leap up...
Did you roll with advantage?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So as you leap up and you're like, ooh, maybe it just the whole thing, it was just too gross. Like as you threw it down on the ground and like you see it, once it hits the ground, you're coming down, it burrows back into the ground very quickly and seems to disappear. So by the time you like land down on it, it's already gone into the earth.
Okay. Yeah, damn it. All right. So that's my turn.
The verdict is those were different songs. Everybody staying abreast of
Also-
the jump conversation.
Yeah, it's I don't even know if it was the #1 song anymore. I'm still doing research.
Okay,
But
alright,
I remembered reading that at some point. I'm sorry, everybody, for
Redacted. We'll
having
just
lied to
redact
you.
all of this. And of course we won't. We always forget to, so enjoy. Okay, so Whoo! All right, so Monte, you did a good getting that out. Getting that out. 'Cause that was terrible. But at this point, Lou, you see that worm that you split in half and threw half of away. It seems to be rebuilding itself even without the aid of its other half. So basically what's happening, I'm delaying it a turn because of what you did, but like it's still not dead. Just want everyone to know that. And then Lou, we come to you.
Okay. I am going to give a good stab to it regenerating right now.
Hate that.
Let's see. That's a 22.
That'll hit.
I'm gonna do
The AC
it
is
with
13. 12 was just not enough, but 13 is the number we're looking for.
my big knife. That's gonna be
Oh, the big
4, 6, but it did way less damage though. So 7, 8, plus 4, so 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay. Owie.
And then as a bonus action, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to use my rogue capabilities to use an object as a bonus action and feed Aoife a potion of healing.
Gaping hole in your chest. Yeah, good.
Yay! Thank you.
Do I pour it in your mouth or in the gaping hole? I don't know.
On her.
Whoa,
just like
just
all
all
over.
over like Gatorade splash.
Yeah, you just need all of this. Just fucking just get it on there. I don't care how.
So that's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of healing.
Ooh, nice.
And then I'm going to be like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. And let's go to these caves.
Yeah, Professor Mole like squeaks from away. Then run behind the house. We've got to go. There will be more.
Fuck. And I'm going to take my 30 feet of movement and start running towards the back of the house.
Yeah.
All right.
So yes, Professor Mole seems to be also, it is officially his turn. So he's like running around the edge of his house back to the hovel. And then we come up on Dandy in his turn and he's like, my darling, I shall hold them, me and my dandy men. We shall cover your retreat. Come hell or high water, we shall allow you to escape. And then, it pains me to say, our favor is settled, but I shall dream of you, night after night, day after day, until you return to me.
I hope we see each other again. Thank you so much for your guidance, and I will never forget you.
Aha! What ho, fiend? He says, and there's a as a sword is moving through the air.
And I grab Aoife and try and yank her with me into the tunnels.
Will you all go into the tunnels?
Yep.
Yes. Strategic retreat.
Yeah, tactical retreat. Yeah, and even as you are like running around, moving back, you hear like pew, pew, the sounds of more of these things like sprouting out from the earth. So things may look grim for Dandy and his dandy men, but the good news seems that the worms are probably not as interested in burrowing into plant flesh as they're into humanoid flesh. So perhaps our dandy man will live another day. But who knows? As you all run.
I have no doubts.
Yeah. And yeah, you are ushered behind like the back of the house by Professor Mole, and you can see like there's a very large set of doors built in the ground, like storm cellar type doors. And he runs over and like with his squat little like taloned hand, staring at you through his like big eyes, like magnifying in his glasses, and he throws open the doors. He's like, "Hurry, hurry!" And you see a tunnel that leads down into the earth.
Yep. So we go there.
Yes, away. Good. Wonderful. Cool. All right. So as you all like scuttle down into this tunnel in the earth, it is completely dark inside this tunnel. So very quickly, as you all run down there, and Professor Mole closes the storm doors, you are completely immersed in darkness. So I know Lou, you have dark vision. Tony, as an orc, you have dark vision. None for Harengon and none for satyrs, right?
Nope.
You are
No.
people of the sunshine.
Yep.
Oh, cast light.
Oh, thank goodness.
Huzzah! What are you casting light on?
She'll do it on her rapier since it's out.
Yep. So as you do, and you see Professor Mole like was just leading you forward confidently. So clearly he's been in front of all these tunnels. And the minute like light comes up, he like you see like a shudder, and he like turns back at you and looks at you through like squinty eyes through his glasses, and says, "Oh, you need that to see."
Yes.
Unfortunately, we're not as adept to the darkness as you are.
I shouldn't be surprised. Well, hurry on. We'll walk and talk. As he like scuttles, and you can see too these tunnels are rounded and they're very squat. So both Monte and Tony are definitely gonna have to like crouch a little bit. They seem like exactly perfect for someone of his girth and height to walk through. So they are small and quite rotund as you are seeing him like move forward in his like little waistcoat. And he turns like kind of over his shoulder, like as he's hurrying forward, winding you through like lefts and rights and downs and ups, like through these tunnels that just seem to keep going on. He'll look over his shoulder occasionally and say things like, "So, what are all you mortals doing here in this place? Were you here about the sinkhole, I'm presuming?"
Yep. That was how I got here. And then we got it sort of wrapped up in an adventure, and now we're looking for a princess.
The Princess Burgundy. She has something to do with this.
And I turned to everybody. Princess Burgundy? Was that the name?
Yeah, she is missing.
So you were sent by Duke Walla then?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yes.
Oh, Duke Walla sending adventurers to me for help. He seems to be laughing to himself.
I see you're taking great pleasure in this, but while you're having a good time, would you mind telling us what the fuck those were?
Yes, right. Yes, business first. Well, clearly something is wrong with the creatures of this land. I do not know the cause of the sinkhole. I have been stopped by creatures like that whenever I came down here to investigate, but I suspect that something is very wrong with the mother or worm. Obviously, her children are losing it. I've never heard the worm song sound like this before.
The worm sound.
Yes.
Wait.
You know, when you go underground and you hear the worms sing.
Oh.
That's new for me, but what I got out of that was that there's a really, really big one of those scary things.
Worms don't sing in your realm?
Quietest
Nope.
things I've ever seen.
Ugh. Well, you
Again,
just-
we are not as adept and as truly marvelous as you are in living underground.
He seems to, like, kind of pause for a moment as you say that, like, bows his, like, rounded head graciously, like, in acknowledgement, like, that was the correct answer. Like, in a way a teacher would do, be like, yes. Like, looking at Lou, steely-eyed, like, we can't hear it. They're quiet. He's like, and then when you say, we're just not good enough, he's like, yes, true. Well,
I know a lot about being underground, guys. Kick a rock.
Well.
Correct.
as you have succinctly summarized, yes, there is a very large worm that dwells beneath this land, and in fact is usually quite a positive force torning the soil, and one of the reasons the Blossom Court has thrived in its demesne. She has always been a critical part of the ecosystem, along with her children, who have never, until this point, seemed interested in eating flesh. So something has clearly gone wrong, and of course they are her children. They're all linked, their minds together. So if something is wrong with the mother, then something will be wrong with the children. Do you follow me?
Yep.
But
Makes sense.
like I said, I have not been able to go down into the tunnels so far. These creatures keep popping up, these enraged children. So if you can guard me on the way, then we may reach her and perhaps ascertain what has upset her so greatly and see if it has, as I suspect, anything to do with the appearance of this sinkhole.
So this is not a common thing then. So they haven't attacked anything until now.
No, they have behaved very much like what would you call them in your world? The earthworms? Is that earth? That's
Yeah.
yes.
That's correct. Yes.
Eating soil and of course tolling it. So this is very unusual. Rarely they are seen above the ground, and as I said, their song has become horrific, corrupted. It's horrible to listen to. Before it was quite pleasant, as I mined, obviously, my dominion. It was usually a pleasant accompaniment, but not these days. Something has gone terribly wrong.
And you manage all this dominion by yourself?
Indeed, I do.
That is amazing to see.
Yes, I am a solitary mole, but someone must do it.
And you're doing such a fantastic job. I mean, kudos to you.
Thank you. Perhaps when you return to Lord Walla, you can point that out to his royal stinkiness.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, yeah.
We
Are
will
you sure?
certainly put in a good word.
Are you sure
Well,
we have
I'm
to rescue
sure-
his daughter? The two of them are quite obnoxious.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I think you would value having his good favor after helping us find his daughter, don't you think?
His like long nose kind of twitches at the idea of it. We shall see. Nothing seems to get through that thick peel of his.
Yep. And it's very stinky. And I just
Oh,
have
God.
flashback to that.
Grotesquely stinky. I can't even get near the man. Ugh.
I don't think my smell is coming back anytime soon. But
It
yeah,
will in a few days, my friend. It will.
Okay. Glad to know that. So yeah, we'll follow you, right? And I turn to everybody.
Yes, it should be further down here. So around here is the point when they start to appear. So stay alert.
Gotcha. I just take out my greatsword and just try to be ready.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Yeah. And all of you are walking through, again, these very compact tunnels, which, like, twisting, turning, you've gone through so many intersections at this point, like, you absolutely could not navigate your way back through the complexities of these mole tunnels he seems to be leading you through. And his voice drops like a measure in volume as he says, "Now, I am uncertain of the exact location of Mother Worm's den. It is considered sort of a faux pas for underground creatures to intrude on one another's dominions. But I suspect it was very near the location of that sinkhole. So I am winding our way there. And I suspect when we find it, we shall find the lair and maybe the cause of whatever this is. Do you have any working theories as to what caused the sinkhole's appearance?"
I it just appeared over my village.
Your
And
village? In
Yes.
the mortal realm?
Yeah.
So
Indeed,
appeared
it's
here and in the mortal realm.
has created some kind of portal,
A portal.
which
Correct.
most unusual.
Well, that is not good news. A portal cannot be created in a sovereign demesne without extreme interference. Perhaps the influence of another court, even, or an archfey. Those would be my two guesses. And Lord Walla didn't know anything about it, you're sure?
Yeah, I was captured for a while, then they were interrogating me. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't have an idea for this. So you think that somebody's behind the sinkhole?
Oh, certainly. This is not a natural phenomenon of any kind, and portals are not something that can simply be opened in a sovereign demesne. It would have to be the sovereign fae that chose to open it in most of these cases, and hence it must be an attack or some kind of message from another fae of equivalent or greater power.
That's unfortunately what my knowledge about all this ends, because I don't know much about the courts.
Well, let's just say there was a reason I chose to go live in the Blossom Court as opposed to the others. They're quite nasty. You're better off not knowing about them. You're a Herringon, right? I hear your people got out of here. Probably a wise decision.
Yeah, I'm a third generation Harangon, so yeah.
Well, yes, I was mortal once, and it doesn't mean much to me anymore, but I understand where you're coming from. The Herringons were noble people. I vaguely recall good, positive relations. You stay above ground, I stay below ground. That sort of thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we just try to keep it to ourselves.
Well, apparently not anymore. If some sovereign fae is running around opening portals between here and there.
Yep.
Well, that is concerning. Well then, are you capable of fighting a fae, if that is what comes down to it?
Yes.
Are we ever? We fought an archfey.
Really?
Aoife stands up a little bit straighter.
And you lived? And this is all what you looked like? You weren't cursed? You weren't changed into this as a result or anything strange?
Yeah, we look like this. That's the response.
I'm sorry, I just...
Aggressively.
Standards of beauty, very different. Different worlds. I meant no offense.
I hear that our ears are quite alarming, so...
Ears are strange. They seem quite unnecessary. He waves at his own, mole face, which has no ears, obviously. Why would you need that? And such large, garish eyes you have. Aren't things getting in them all the time?
Yep.
Fun.
Yes.
I've actually been told my eyes are some of my greatest qualities. So beauty is all in the eye of the beholder.
Beholder?
Oh,
Oh,
God.
don't worry. There are none of those here.
Oh, okay.
They don't like fairy magic.
Good to know. Good to know.
Anyhow.
Wait, so you said you were mortal. How did you become a fae?
Well, I performed some favors, let's say, for our Blossom Sovereign. Wonderful, wonderful individual, by the way. Nothing like Lord Walla. Sort of inherited the position. You know how things are. Also, he's an incompetent boob, obviously, but the Blossom
Clearly
Sovereign,
adept.
she's lovely. Simply lovely. Now that is the creature that is a true perfection, in my humble opinion. He makes a little sighing sound.
Cute.
You got a tiny crush on it. Aw.
But
If you should ever meet her, consider yourselves lucky.
But I think while we're walking, and we do have the opportunity to pick someone's brain about court
Who
structure
seems to
without.
know. Oh, by all means, here is this window if you would like to ask any questions.
And without Rook being like, don't trust anyone, or be like, would ask what, out of the Blossom Court, what's the hierarchy like? What do you all do?
What do you do? Yeah. And he will break down for you, kind of confirming some of what you learned, on the way here. So the Blossom Court, more than any other, is, I guess, how would I describe it? It's not communism is close to sort of how it functions, but not really. It's more like all individual bands of fae that choose to live together to promote and like grow various parts of the Demesne is sort of how it's organized in general. So creatures like of a like mind might all band together to like have an area of coniferous forest that they tend and maintain, and basically they live and work together on, they call them plots, as like the whole realm is divided into plots. That's based on, you know, the more fae you have as part of that one plot, like the bigger it kind of becomes. And they're pretty much self-governing in their own ways. So each plot takes care of and tends the land and preserves it in the way that they think is best and most ideal. And in case of trouble, they do have these dukes that are like scattered throughout the lands that kind of oversee these larger areas of plots. And at the very, very center of the Demesne, there is the Blossom Sovereign. And apparently she rules over this like beautiful rose garden at the center that anyone can go to and approach. And the Blossom Court, more than any other, and Professor Mole is happy to explain this, is probably the least involved in politics with the other sovereign fae. They're one of the older courts, and but they're not hasty to action, sort of in the way plants are, right? It's their opinion most of the time that doing nothing often solves a lot of problems.
God, I wish they were right.
Like while all the other sovereign courts, you know, fight and scheme and like whatever, sometimes just playing neutral, like, wins. So a lot of the other courts consider them, like, buffoonish or, like, slow or, you know, not a real threat. But they're totally okay with that. And they're totally okay to let the other courts destroy each other and then just be there to inherit the earth when they're all done fighting. So
Super interesting.
Yeah.
Lou will, as they're walking and he's talking about like this radiant blossom sovereign, she'll be like, so that's your guys' sovereign for this court. Could I ask you if you've ever heard of someone maybe referred to as the King Unseen, or maybe the Witch's Queen?
Oh, the Witch's
that
Queen.
ring any
The Witch's
bells?
Queen. Oh, Hecate? Ugh.
That's what I thought.
Horrible individual. I mean, I haven't personally met her, obviously. I'm still alive. But no, with Heavenly Court, all that, I don't know. I'm not sure if she's the sovereign these days or not, or they're all very... I recommend staying away from them, is all I'll have to say about the Heavenly Court.
Yeah, that's probably really good advice. And anything about a King Unseen?
I suppose that could be the Withered Court. We don't see much of them at all, or perhaps the Sleeping Court. The Great Dragon and all that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I read some pretty intense poetry and it referenced it, so I was just hoping to get some more
not my
clarity.
field of expertise. I'm more of an academic, you understand, but I hear plenty of flowery poetry living in the Blossom Court. He's like, why are you laughing? That's quite literal.
Amazing.
No reason. Anyway,
even just like shakes her hand and she's like, it's a mortal thing.
I see. Oh, well then, shall we? Any other questions you would like to ask before shit gets real?
oh God.
Shit gets real.
I will say, if you keep Professor Mole alive, he will certainly be a valuable individual to send letters to or ask questions of.
Well, we gonna try, girl.
We're gonna try.
I'm ready for shit to get real.
Yep.
All right. So you have been like winding your way down, and you can tell, I mean, it's very jarring being underground, like, and having no idea where the sun is, and you've been like kind of feeling yourself go steadily downwards at decline. So You must be going deeper into the earth at this point, but it's, again, very hard to tell. And everything is so quiet as you are surrounded by packed dirt from all sides.
As we're walking down really quick, I would like to actually have Blue take out her glasses.
Yeah.
And turn on, like, as we get into the area, and turn on X-ray vision to try to look through the walls of dirt around her.
Cool.
And just like turning it off and on as she goes. So.
Yeah. So yeah, you're looking through, and as you see it, oh boy, it is so strange here because you grew up underground, so you realize most of, like, when you get into the deep earth and, you know, the caverns that, like, your drow cities were situated in, it's mostly stone. So there's, like, the working layer of earth typically, and then you get down to, like, the really intense, like, stone layers in the ground. That doesn't seem to be the case, and whatever this Demesne is, you are surrounded by soil, like loose soil, and these tunnels are packed of it, and you must be at least a half mile below the earth at this point, but it's still just, like, pure workable soil. So you're not sure if that's, like, a symptom of being in a plant realm or whatever it is, but that makes it really easy to see through at all these various points. And you see, like, incredible things, like bugs, you know, the size of your fist, like, moving through, working through the earth. And
I turn them off.
yeah, you're like, hate that, but, like pebbles and stones and, like, geodes, like, beautiful, like, crystals, like, in the earth just waiting to be unmined, as if, like, it never gets any packed or deeper. It's just deep, rich soil that seems to go on and on forever. Just the perfect growing ground for anything is what would catch your eye as you were moving through here. And yep, you see a big ass, like, potato bug. You're like, nope, and you turn off your glasses. And then you come to a point where you see this, like, hole that just leads, like, straight down, and it's, like, packed spiral staircase that's about to lead you, like, really deep down into the earth. And Professor Mole kind of, all right, be as quiet as you can. I think we're getting very close.
Okay.
All right.
And we're all on the same page, right? We're not trying to kill this mother worm. We're trying to find out
I would
what the issue is.
extremely advise against killing her, if at all possible. I don't know if I can, if I've related how large this worm is.
Well, you said too, she's normally neutral to
very
benevolent.
good. If
so
there's any way we can restore, yes, let us hope.
You got.
Give me some stealth
So
checks, y'all. Let's do a group stealth check. See how quietly.
don't
we
mind
can
if
move.
I do.
Let's do it. So there are 5 of us with Professor Mole, so we need 3 people to succeed.
I got a 24.
23.
Wow. Wait, what'd you get?
18.
18. Okay, and then Monte?
Yeah.
15.
Okay, wow, you guys are so fucking quiet. Nice. So you are, like, heading down, and all of a sudden, like, you really get serious. And for the first time, Professor Mole just stops talking as you were, like, creeping down this spiraling staircase into the dark, and the oppressive silence of being surrounded by compacted dirt really starts to weigh on your consciousness as every single step, every little creak just seems to, like, fill your ears. You make your way towards the ground, and about halfway through, you all start to feel the ground shake around you, as if something very, very large is, like, turning in its sleep. You all kind of pause for a second, but you're still so quiet. And it stops, and you continue to move down to the bottom of this staircase here. And again, about a minute later, it happens as, like, everything is rumbling around you, and the ground starts to shake beneath your feet, and you start to stagger, having trouble staying upright. Everybody make some dexterity saving throws for me.
Oof. Okay.
That's a 26.
Oh, shit.
God damn.
Rogue
Bro.
I
save.
got half of that for 13.
Wait. What are we rolling again? I got a notification the moment you said it. What is it?
Dex save.
Dex,
Oh.
yeah.
I got a 19.
I'm gonna use my inspiration and reroll that.
All right.
Nice.
Goodness. 15?
Okay, yeah, you guys are doing great. This is so good. You're stopping worms from jumping out. This is great. And you see, like, Professor Mole in these moments, he goes like full four legs and is like totally cool. Like as this happens, it's a little weird to see like this rotund mole person like in a a waistcoat like acting like a big ass mole. But like as he does, like his soft little pink hands like hit the ground and like he just seems to jiggle with the earth and like it's all good. And he looks back at you all like the minute the earth stops trembling and kind of raises a thumbs up, and then like has a little creep forward hand. Sorry, Nassim, are you dying? I'm killing you. Okay, so you
I'm good. I sneezed.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good. So you continue to creep forward, and at this point, the tunnels stop being that really nice, like packed earth around you. You start to see more like jagged, like tendrils of like roots hanging down and stuff. It's a lot less structured as you come upon this cavern that opens up before you, and it's a lot to take in a moment. And those of you who have a light source can't see the full gravity of what this is because you can only see about 60 feet or so out. But Lou and Tony, as you are looking out at this gigantic cavern in front of you, you can't help but be kind of overwhelmed by it. It's like a well in the earth. So this gigantic cylinder that's maybe like 400, 500 feet across from side to side here and seems to like carry up and up and up like way beyond the range of either of your visions and down far below. And you can see ringing the sides of this cylinder there are all of these like little tunnels and caverns that seem to have these like writhing purplish bodies in them of these worms that are much bigger than the ones that you had encountered previously. And as you are looking down towards like where the bottom of this cavern would be, you see something great and purple twisted around the bottom of this thing. And you realize it's like just a single coil of what must be a gargantuan worm at the center here. And all of you, even those of you with limited dark vision, can see this worm at the very bottom because hovering just above, maybe like 60 feet above where this coil is this rift almost. Like that's the only way to describe it. It's like this moat of floating like electricity that seems to hover and like grow bigger and smaller, like sporadically jumping in size, almost like a net that seems to block the way down towards this thing. And where this like coil is, you can see it. There's this horrible gash in it that's like blackened and charred flesh that looks like it's been just like devastated by some kind of electric strike, if you had to guess.
Monty just takes out his canteen and he has water in it and he uses shape water to like put like a text over us and just says, I think we're here.
And the Professor Mole goes,
Nice.
and nods at you, like waving his like long nose up and down.
As somebody who like tinkers a lot with things and all that, like is this like moat that we're looking at, does it look like it's like attached, like is it like a device that somebody's created, or is it just like magical electricity?
Why don't you go
know.
ahead and make me an Arcana check? Looking at it.
Ugh.
No. Okay. What's your like tinkerer skill?
see.
Do you have tinker's tools? Is that you don't have those?
No, I don't have tinker's tools. I could do intel like a
I mean, go with Arcana. You still have a
Investigation,
really
maybe?
good Arcana. Yeah, maybe investigation because you're puzzling together what's going on. I'll accept that.
Yeah. Okay. So that is an 11 plus 8, so 19.
Okay. So as you're watching this thing and you're kind of watching its patterns, it's really interesting. It's definitely not connected to a device. It seems to be, but it does seem to be rooted in place by something. So like some kind of gravitational law or force or something is keeping it in place. And the way it like jumps out and forward, at its highest point, it does expand to be like this very large circular sphere that's almost like a true net that goes over the course of this thing. But it also at times comes back and together. So it seems really unstable, whatever it is. And it doesn't seem to be generated by a device. So some kind of arcane power, whatever is feeding it, isn't visible. And like knowing before the idea of portals and like what you've heard, like this does seem to be some kind of portal that seems to be fixed in place here. It's clearly unstable. The way it is jumping up and forward and around. But like the disc-like shape of it too, as you're looking at it, and like that big like slice that has been taken out of the coil that you can see, it's probably not hard to assume that maybe this thing might have injured the worm that you're seeing down below.
Okay. I will relay this information to everyone and look to everyone else because everyone else can do magic except for me. And I'll be like, mages, portal, unstable, clearly. How do these things normally work? Are we looking for, what are they called? Is it a rune? Do we find a rune? That's the only term I know.
Rune? That's a magical word, right? It's like if I'm talking about math, I'm like, yes, hypotenuse. That's a word.
The limit does not exist.
Mm-hmm. Limit, yes.
I love Lou.
Yes.
Damn, I don't have that much. But is it something that I can actually analyze to see if there's a source behind it, or if there's something we can do here to just close that thing?
Yeah, I mean, you're an Eldritch Knight, you know, you cast magic, you've seen it directly influenced. I would totally let you have a check on, like, what you know about portals, and maybe this is something, also, your people had to, you know, use a portal to navigate between worlds, so you, like, in your history, your folklore, I think you might know quite a bit about portals, so go ahead and roll with advantage, and give me maybe an Arcana or a history check would apply, I think.
Ooh, okay, that's good because I rolled a natural 1 and a 19.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh, hell
That's
yeah.
a natural 20.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the Venture Maidens campaign guide, and you are going to get the information about portals that is contained within. Here we go. Here we go. Traveling the realms. Gates
I don't know if you
between
guys have heard
realms.
about the Venture Maiden campaign guide, but it's pretty cool.
But
You can
it's
buy
a-
the PDF on our website, venturemaidens.com.
Katie, you get inspiration for marketing. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Gates between realms.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah. Though two realms and the planes may share a border, physically stepping from one to the other is impossible without a crossing point. These crossing points, called gates, can manifest in various ways and take different forms, but all are hazardous to ill-prepared travelers who try to use them. So the types of gates, and this is information that you would know from your people. Like this is important information for Fae who have tried to cross over, and like why it's so hard for Fae generally to move from the fairy realm to the mortal realm. So there are three types of gates. There's physical gates, psychic gates, and portals. So clearly portal is what you are dealing with here of the different types of gates. Crossing points created by magical spells or spell-like effects that remain open only for a short time. They are generally, of the three, the safest and most predictable way to travel between the realms, but they still obviously have their huge problems. Few creatures in the world ever attain the ability to cast such potent spells. So this had to be the result of a spell. It had to be the result of a very potent caster to do it. Yep. The expense and short-term nature of these spells makes them infeasible for daily use. Yep. Yes. So this is an issue. So when you're dealing with a portal, you got to do, activation. So there's usually some way that can activate it. Stability is an issue. Destination, you've already ascertained this is a portal that goes between here and there. So basically, you're looking at the effect of a big ass, like a caster with major power caused this thing to open. And probably the only way to close it is to get someone of equivalent power to shut this shit down. This is probably not something you all have the capacity to do so, but perhaps a duke of the realm might be able to do something about it. Certainly a sovereign of the realm could do something about it. Or like you're talking like an archmage. So someone of probably level 12 or higher could probably do something about this.
Yeah, we'll just level up right here.
Yeah,
level
we'll
6.
just level up. There you go.
6 level.
Tony,
Damn.
Tony,
We'll be right
unlock
back.
your new mage potential.
So,
Initiate training montage.
You're the best around.
so Monty looks at everybody and he's like signing, and under him is like captions under him. And he's just saying that whatever made the portal, or whoever made the portal, is a really magical, powerful mage. And we need someone of equal power to close it. And so this is a portal. What else did I put in?
While you are like signing and trying to quietly explain this, please give me a like a stealth check while you're doing this. While you all are having these like kind of conversations here, just like how.
Oh no!
All of us?
Yeah, probably all of you.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Yeah.
Because...
No.
Hell yeah.
I got a 16.
Okay. So 18.
I forgot that most of us know how to sign.
Yeah.
in
Dirty
this.
20.
Because it's a normal thing in the Eldrin Empire. Common sign
Yeah.
is a language that everybody pretty much knows.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like because it's the language of it's adapted from spellcasting, so they use it as their universal language.
Oh, that is so cool. That's so cool. 18 for me.
Veterans Campaign Guide.
Yes.
By now.
Marketing. What'd you get, Tony? I don't think I heard from you.
For stealth?
Yeah.
8.
So, Tony, I don't think you're being that loud, like physically, but there's at some point, maybe you're thinking about something a little much, or something weird happens. Like all of a sudden, in a corner of your mind, you feel something there. That wasn't before. And there's like a low humming that comes to your mind, almost like a groan that seems to just stretch on and on. Do you do anything about it?
I think she's already kind of on hyper alert because she really decimated one of these children of this gigantic mother.
Yeah.
So in her own mind, she'll probably say, like, is someone there?
Yeah. And as you reach out, you feel someone listening, something listening to you, and the sound dulls before you hear, "Are you alone?"
No.
There's like a sad, like pained sigh. Are you here to hurt us?
And as softly as she possibly can. No.
There's another like long pained sigh that comes to your mind. I will send them.
Please, we don't want to harm any of you. We've come to see how we can help. You seem to be in a lot of distress, you and your family. And we think we know what the cause is. But we need to find out a way to fix it.
And the breathing continues in your mind. And from somewhere far below, Lou and Tony, you would be able to see this first. You see, like, out of one of these side, like, tunnels from somewhere very way down, like, very close to the coils of the great worm, two figures emerge. And you see, like, one of them is it's a very, very small person. Like, from this side, you can't really see anything about them other than, like, there's kind of flashes, like, white and green as, like, the only, like, impressions you get from this distance. And then, like, a brownish, tall individual coming from behind. And as these two, like, sort of step out of this, like, little cavern space, you hear like this popping of earth as like some of these like writhing worms from up above kind of like fall down, almost like raining down onto these two, popping out and like coiling around them. And the small figure seems to be like holding a hand outwards, and they part as the figure like walks, and the worms do not bother these people as they move up and start spiraling up closer, seeming to walk up towards you all. Are you doing anything? You have certainly much time to react before these two individuals and this train of worms they're attracting seem to get to you.
Who's that?
In
Lou's
my-
just gonna. Oh, go ahead.
In my head, can I ask, are you sending these two below
And
to
there's
speak with us?
yeah, there's like a and like this horrible, like this like feeling of sudden like anger like reaches out towards you as they're like consumed maybe by pain or something, and like there's just this like flash of like red that goes across your mind, and the tunnels start to shake around you, and you see the two figures like hold out like towards the ledge to like hold on as what's going on, and you just hear like the keening sound of like thousands of worm voices, like what you heard up before, like start screaming in your head once again.
Well, then at that point, I'm just gonna tell everyone. I think the mother worm was speaking to me telepathically. She sounds very upset and distressed, but almost not by choice. It's like she can't help but feel angry.
Yeah, and the Professor Mole is like, okay, but I think we should leave. That does not sound good. That is not the worm song. And he's saying it out loud now. He doesn't even give a
Okay.
fuck. Like, clearly something is happening.
Okay.
Right.
Right. Do we think stay and talk? Do we think get out? What are we feeling?
Oh, damn.
I think get out makes sense. We already know that we are not strong enough to deal with what's in there. And if those things really want to come talk to us, they can follow us, I guess.
You said there was two people, there was two humanoids there.
Mm-hmm.
So, could that be the princess and Patches? I think it was.
Could be.
Interesting.
If they get a little bit
Oh.
closer, you might be able to tell.
Princess! Tony yells out.
Yell down, like way down below, and as you're like looking, like squinting at the edge of your vision, and these two like keep coming up closer and closer, you kind of like ring that out, so you're just like yelling that down into the hole.
Yeah.
And yeah, as your voice like travels, you see and like you're squinting and like a little the small figure who seems to be like holding out a hand and somehow repelling these worms, sort of like waves a hand around up to you, and you hear like a squeaking
Tony.
like from far away.
Nice.
Princess, we're here to find you. Please hurry.
And the figure, like from this point, starts like waving towards herself,
To beckon.
like come
Oh,
close.
come to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony will pull out her sword and her shield and, well, I guess she can't do that. She'll pull out her sword and will stay close to Professor Mole and
He's like,
tell him,
oh no,
sorry, we have
No.
we have another job.
Oh,
We gotta
no.
go, and you're not standing here alone.
you're gonna go? You you sure?
We need your keen mind and insight in order to determine what is plaguing the dear great worm. Only your beneficence and immeasurable knowledge could help us in this trying time to save the realm.
It's amazing how Aoife can do this without her lips pucker.
Yeah.
For his being right.
Make me a persuasion check with advantage because you're playing to his ego.
Yes. Ooh. Oh yeah, that is 17 plus 7, 24.
Nice.
I suppose.
Hell yeah.
In the name of science, I should. Yes, I
Think
shall
of
accompany
how
you.
I know. Think of how grateful the sovereign of this realm would be knowing you saved one of her most treasured creations.
You are right. Of course, you are right.
And think about how embarrassed the Duke would be that he can't do it himself.
True.
That is true.
Now
Lead on, warriors! He says, and kind of like puts up his like pudgy little like mole hands
yes.
in fisticuffs.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Amazing. As we start heading that way and heading towards the figure, though, like Aoife's going to take the moment to cast Intellectual Fortress on Tony, since apparently she is getting some
Worm tongue.
worm
Worm
talk.
talk.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
So
that's nice.
you get resistance to psychic damage, and you get advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws
That's so neat.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's real neat.
for the next hour.
All right. So you continue forward, everyone.
Yep. Going.
What is the pace? Quickly?
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
We're hustling.
Yeah. The minute, yes, this little figure who you assume to be maybe perhaps the princess, she starts waving her hands. You can see the two figures start running towards you, and you also start like running now to beat them as Professor Mole, as fast as he can run, essentially, which isn't super fast, but he's doing his best. He's so inspired. As you step like out into this chasm, immediately you start to see these worms like pour from the walls, burrowing out of the sides and from these like caverns. And as they're going, they're like tumbling down. And again, whatever it is, this like anger, this anguish that seems to be consuming them, they're flopping and twisting and just don't seem to have a lot of control of their bodies as the whole entire earth is shaking and they're moving. So as the great worm writhes below in this like anguish of pain, make me dexterity saving throws.
18 for Aoife.
Good.
6 for Tony.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay.
I'm gonna spend my inspiration, so you get a reroll.
Hell
Thank you
yeah.
so
Because
much.
Tony, you were, whoa, and there are thin little rails, because boy, Tony was about to fall just over the edge into a pit of worms.
I mean, that didn't really help a whole lot,
Oh, cool.
but we're at a 11 now.
Neat. So Tony, with the sudden shaking. Oh, Monte, here, you tell me though. Are we losing 2? Just 1.
Mine is a 12, but it says here that I got lucky footwork. When you fail a dex saving throw, you can use your reaction to roll a d4 and add it to the
Nice. Roll.
save. So
Do it.
16?
That's a
Nice.
good, yeah, 16 is great. 11 bad.
Okay.
So you all, like, and the earth shakes so much more violently than it has at any point in this journey, as you all are consumed. And, like, a bunch of these worms simply fall on you, Tony. It's like they're, like, pouring out the walls, almost like burst pipes, right, and water. They just like start to launch themselves at you, and you are swept off your feet and begin to feel yourself falling down off of this ledge, just like down into this well here. I'm going to go ahead and give you another dexterity save to see if you can catch yourself on this fall. One more.
15.
Okay. So you manage to, like, you fall probably 20 feet or so, and you feel yourself free falling, and, like, these worms are around you, and they are also, like, clearly as a tribute to this, like, mania that's consumed them, they are also falling in free fall, and it's not going to end well, but you reach out and, like, you catch, like, one of these roots that is sticking out of the wall, and so about 20 feet below you all, Tony is hanging on a spindly little root, like, above this thing. And this portal, by the way, that burnt the hell out of this great mother worm is about 60 feet below you as you are hanging for dear life on the edge here. What's up, party? How are we handling this?
Okay.
Lou, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Lou is going to, seeing her fall, immediately reach into her bag of holding and take out her rope, and she's going to throw one end back towards the party to grab onto and throw the other end down to Tony to grab onto.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. So Tony, that rope kind of clatters around you all. You grab it on.
And I'm gonna make my life easier.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing on, and I'm gonna make my life easier by using my mold earth cantrip again and like building little steps.
Hell
into
yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So good! Such a good use of that
my
spell!
God.
See, what I
Amazing.
appreciate deeply about you is I feel like you're gonna use shit that druids can do really well. So take another point of inspiration, kid. I think you
Hell
used yours,
yeah.
right? So take another one.
Yeah.
That's rad.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you are like climbing up, and as you're going, it becomes very clear to the rest of the party. Like you're hoisting Tony up, but you are running out of time as these worms are like coming for you. And I think all of you now at this point are sort of having to block them or kick them or attack them just to leave you all alone. As you see now these two figures winding up, like running at full speed. Now at this distance, you can make out the little small figure is a little garlic-headed girl. She's probably about almost like 3 feet tall, right? But her face is like a garlic clove, and you can see these spirals of green, like tendrils, like when a garlic like starts to sprout, like her hair around her head, and she's just holding out her little like white hand. And they seem to be avoiding her. Right behind is a Herringon who's crouching, looking terrible in like blue overalls, like looking around, just like clutching a pitchfork, like for dear life, following this little garlic girl. So they're coming, but they're still not quite there. So what's the play as you're playing up, Tony? What are you all doing, just like narratively, to like hold off these worms?
Tony, can you go towards where all the worms are falling from the wall with your shield to kind of like protect a little bit from the oncoming?
Yeah. Once I make my way up there,
Yeah.
shield time, and I'm like trying to push against this
Right.
wave of worms.
Yeah, so as they're like hitting, you're kind of deflecting them off so they go like spinning into the chasm, just trying to buy yourself all a little time. What are the rest of you all doing?
I think Lou's gonna take a note from Tony, and she always has all of her like cooks utensils and
Nice.
stuff with
Cast
her,
iron.
and she will take out. Yeah, she takes out from the bag. She pulls out cast iron and like a big thick wooden cutting board.
Yes. Yes. Hold up. Oh yeah, the good ones, the huge ones with like the ingredient rivets. Amazing. Yeah. So you're holding them up, and yeah, these worms don't seem to have a lot of like forethought or anything going on. So you're holding it up and like bashing them off. Aoife, what are you doing to like help this situation?
Oh goodness. I think oh man. Yeah, I think with the sort of like psychic energy that sort of naturally sort of bouncing off of this thing from
Mm-hmm.
from this rift and from this disturbance. And I think she is like keying into that with the vicious mockery. And she'll, as one gets close, and she's just like is sniping like little psychic jabs at them to keep them away. Like, get back in there.
Yeah, like, how dare you? Like, yeah, you're pointing, yeah, psychic dissonance. And what are you doing, Monte, narratively to help this situation?
Yeah, so I'm running and trying to do the same thing as a Tony, but I'm sending sonic blast all over
Yeah.
to every worm that's doing that with Total Dead, and just running to
Nice.
just be backup in case Tony needs it.
Yeah, so you're like pew pew pew. You're sending them flying off, like trying to like get this sound to drown out like the dolorous, screams that are happening here. So all of you are like kicking ass, holding position, like barely on this. When finally, like you see this tiny little garlic princess like finally makes her way to you, and as she does, she's like, "Get in close!" She like yells and like draws you all so you're all within like a foot of her, and she holds out both of her hands and like almost in reaction to like you don't know what it is, but the worms they fall and they go "Ugh," and like skitter away, and you have it seems about like a 10-foot radius where the worms will refuse to fall on her, and she says, "Did my father send you?"
Yep.
Good, good. Don't hurt it. It's not its fault. She says, holding out her little arms as hard as she can, and she looks exhausted
know.
and so tired. Okay,
We
We
know
want
we don't want to hurt it.
okay. Do you have a way to close the portal? Because this is a mess.
Oh, we
We
don't.
don't, but do you think your dad might?
Dad? Yeah, I guess.
How are you? Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know. These things haven't let us out of here the whole time. Well, we've been staying, and it's been bleeding. It's been terrible.
Are
Maybe
there any other dukes in the area who we could get to first?
No. I suppose he could help. Well, if you know what caused it.
and I explain as fast as I can about what happened and how we can close it or somebody can close it.
Okay, well that's good news. If it was another Fae, then yes, then my father can probably do something about it. But we got to get out of here.
Yeah, maybe we
Let's
should
go.
get out. Yes.
Okay, for some reason they don't seem to be able to come close to me, so I will hold them off. I think it is the power of the royal stench, she says, and like closes
Is there
her
a-
eyes as she says it, like it's some holy thing.
It's like a paladin aura.
Yeah.
Just imagine her arms going out and the fumes from
Yes.
her pits.
Yeah,
Just...
well, that's totally exactly what's happening. She's raising
Oh my god. Yes, I love this.
Good.
Powerful dynasty.
Stay close to me, and we shall make it through. And at this point, too, the Harangon that's been following is like, Monte? And like kind of taps you on the shoulder.
Hi, Patches. How's it going? And
It's going
told her that, told her
terribly.
that.
It's going very bad.
Well, I know. Maybe we should just get out of here and get the princess and everybody out.
Okay, did you come to rescue me, buddy?
I did.
Wow, you really are the hero everybody says you are.
Oh, stop it. Stop it, Patches.
You're a
Told it that.
good
Told it that.
kid, Monte, and like raises a hand up to the side of your face. You're a good kid. Your parents would be proud.
And a tear. Single tear. Thank you, Patches. Thank you. Told it
Uh,
that. Oh, duck. Told it
Duck,
that.
yeah, and you're like, bam, and like a worm goes flying. He's like, thanks, brother. And then so all of
Lou's
you,
like, is there a backstory unfolding behind me?
I
Let's
guess,
go.
who knows? It's a small community, you know.
If it was in front of you, it'd be a front story.
Yeah, front story. Amazing. So all of you in extreme discomfort, like staying very close to the princess, can make your way like out of the tunnels, and the worms do not seem to bother you as you go along. And you can certainly make your way back to Duke Walla, who, as you approach, is like, Princess, you're back. You've actually done it. You've done it." And Princess is like, "Father, these people have something very important to say, and we have no time. We have no time for greetings. Tell them what you need." And she looks at you and puts her little garlic hands on her little garlic hips and stares up at you expectantly.
Is anybody going to do that? Or
Yeah, yeah.
April-
She's like, yes, she is absolutely. Please explain. You are in front. We've cut time. You are in front of Duke Walla right now.
Yeah, Aoife strides forward and we've done as we've asked. We've rescued the princess. We've brought her back. We've found the source of disturbance, but only the power of your dukeliness, of your precipitous stench, could truly fix this problem for once and for all. Otherwise, it might continue to plague your plot again, and we certainly cannot have that.
Wait. You're saying that some fae created a portal in my realm without my notice? I'm just saying, is that correct? Is that what you are telling me? Because that seems quite impossible.
It does, and as someone must be truly remarkable in their belief of them, in their arrogance to think that they could challenge someone as mighty as you. But I know that we could help you put a stop to this.
Do you know who it is? It would help me if I have the workings to be able to subvert this horrendous magic. Closing a portal is no small feat, you understand. And if this individual, who I doubt has more power than Duke Walla, but in case they did, it would help to know.
Unfortunately, we don't have that information. We just know someone real powerful created that. And someone is with your powerful stinkiness can close it. We might solve this whole situation, if you will.
No idea. None of you
No.
have any idea?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I shall see what I can do. A portal. And he like slaps his hands together and kind of like throws a hand outwards, and you see like growing out of the ground there are these like large vines that kind of move into place here, that form almost like a circle in between. And you see these swirls of water come up and move like between the edges to form like a flat, almost reflective surface. And suddenly you see it, the hole, the well, these worms pouring from all sides, the great mother worm writhing down below, and this like flickering light in the center as you are like looking upon the scene here. And Duke Walla sort of stands up to his full like 5-foot height, like shoves his like girth around a bit and steps forward towards the portal. So you're asking me to close this portal for you? Is that correct? And he looks at you, Aoife, right in the eyes.
For the good of your own plot, yes.
And he kind of waves a finger. this will settle a little matter between you and I if I do this. This is not particularly something I think I need to do, so I will consider this the settlement of our big favor.
Well, if you want to risk your daughter going missing again in such a strange and terrible place, I mean, I suppose that seems reasonable to me. Do you think that's reasonable, Princess Burgundy? She looks over to her like, your father's allowing your life to be risked again.
And and you see her go, she like turns like red, like her little girl like face turns red, and she goes, Father, I cannot believe that you are making such a big deal out of this. This is something clearly affecting your realm, and you are sitting here going back and forth with favors. This is ridiculous. No wonder everybody considers you a large, stinky buffoon. And then the Lord is like, he looks like shocked. He looks shocked by this. He's like, But John, I can't have mortals running around owing favors. She's like, well, you have to give them something in way of reward. This is just ridiculous. and he says, okay. Oh, this will settle our big favor, but I will give you something extra for your help. No favor exchange required. My daughter is, and she's like still bright red. Okay. Perhaps I can give you the name of the Fae who created this. I now looking at it, I see their work. Would that be adequate payment?
Oh. I
think
turn to
that'll do.
everybody. Yeah.
Not the name, you understand, but what they go by, of course.
Of course.
Yes, of course. And he looks at his daughter, and she's like starting to get more pink, and he's like, okay.
The true ruler of these class.
You suddenly understand why, perhaps, Koala has got his position. And he like waves his like little vine fingers at the image here, and he says, "Close." And as it does, you see like shooting out of the walls from between like this like bunch of vines just start coming out towards, and they launch themselves, and the first ones are like zapped by this portal, but as they continue to come for more and more and more, they seem to drown out this like light and strangle it unto the point where you can no longer see it, as it just becomes this like ball of withered vines, and there's this like audible popping sound that kind of rings out all around, and then the light is gone. And you see all the worms and everything start, like, where they've landed on the ground, kind of calm, and, like, slither back up into their holes. And, like, the great coiled thing below turns gently in a circle, and the flesh starts to heal on its body. And the Duke says, "It is done. It is done. And I am... regret to say this was the work of a one Hecate. You know of her?"
Dun dun dun.
We're familiar.
Unfortunately.
She has never had this kind of power before, but the ability to puncture holes within other realms, from mortal to fae, she must have gained some kind of new power to do this. This is, grave indeed. I shall report this to the sovereign, but that is, none of your concern. Our big favor is settled.
But why would they do that, though?
I don't know. Why would she want to come into it? Was your mortal village? Yes. I mean, I suppose there are advantages between. Well, many of the courts think that if perhaps more fae can come into the mortal realm, then there's some possibility for that to happen. Many fae are interested in settling your poor, pathetic mortal realm where the soil is terrible and unnutritious, but that is for reasons beyond me. You will have to go somewhere else to find out that information, but
Why would she do it here in your realm versus her own?
I don't know. And he looks like suddenly startled, like he hasn't even considered the possibility of why that would be an issue. He's like, I have no idea.
Duke Walla, do you
Yes.
think, as an exchange for our small favor, since you are a duke of this realm,
Hmm?
that you may be able to make a formal introduction of us once we've returned Monte back to the mortal realm to the Blossom Court Sovereign, as we would like to bring news of this, because I would fear that if Hakate can work her way through one realm, she can work her way through more, and I should like to notify the Sovereign on this issue.
Wish to meet the Blossom Sovereign. That is no small thing, a small favor. But if you did go and tell her, then I wouldn't have to go and tell her. And if she was mad about it, then it wouldn't be my problem.
Exactly.
She'd actually learn of your heroism in helping us close this portal.
Indeed. Perhaps an increase in your station.
I like the way you, think, little mortals. That's very clever. That's very clever indeed. Yes. As the small favor, I will send an invitation letting the Blossom Sovereign know to expect you. Oh, I can't say I can promise results, but the message will be sent, and perhaps an invitation will be extended to you, though I shall say Her Magnificence is quite busy.
Of course. But that would, your extending of good word of us would certainly go far, I imagine.
Yes, it
And
would.
she gives
wouldn't
a
it?
very deep curtsy.
He laughs. Yes. Well, I suppose, yes. Oh, in the matter of you, and he kind of waves a hand at Monte. I suppose I should also say, yes, you are clear of whatever charges may have been leveled against you. You, I suppose you are not responsible in any way, and,
I just fall to my knees and thank you, your stinkiness, thank you.
And I suppose this was technically a problem that happened because of my realm and attack. So I suppose if your pitiable little village needed, I don't know, reparations of some kind, I might be amenable.
We would greatly appreciate that. And I just put like a pack of carrots on the ground. This are from my village, and we can do more if you could help us. So we appreciate all your support.
I will not accept your gift, tricky little mortal, but what I will do, here, the blessings of the Blossom Court upon you. And he like waves his hands like over your carrots. Take them back. Any carrots you will plant from that seed will never die despite soil conditions, watering, no matter. They will grow forever. And all the blessings of the Blossom Court.
Blessings.
Yes.
Your ownness.
Yes. Are you ready to leave? I grow tired of your lack of stench.
Of course.
You smell like nothing. It's repulsive.
Yes, I think we best be off.
Very well. You shall have your missive to the Queen, and, yes, farewell. Oh, I suppose you need a way out. Go. And he, like, waves his hand again at the little, like, doorway portal. Free of charge. Please just leave.
Get the fuck out.
Thank you, and I'm sure that your stench will linger in our noses and our hearts for many eons to come.
Yeah.
Princess Burgundy, farewell to you. Good luck.
And she says,
Curtsy.
wait, thank you. Thank you, all of you, for saving me and for talking sense into my father. I know he can be so dim-witted at times, but I do appreciate all you have done. And please do take care of Patches. He is a wonderful individual, if not a little cowersome.
Will do.
And I promised as well a small gift. And of course, you saved my life, so in payment, I have something here that I've been working on, a solution. So perhaps your people do not need to eat fey garlic. They can have this instead. And she'll like hand out a little box, instinctively to you, Lou, by some destiny-ridden thing.
And she like holds her hands out, just like, you have no idea. This is my favorite gift I've ever received. You are just a blessing to this realm. Thank you. And she like grabs it and like brings it straight to her nose and just takes a big whiff.
Oh my god. If you have ever, like, the most interesting and beautiful garlic you have ever smelled in your whole life, it's like floral, but at the same time has all that like the punch and the sour, and it, like, you've never experienced anything like it. And she says, if you replant that, it will grow, as much as you like it to. In fact, keep it walled.
Walled? Oh.
Or it'll just take over everything, especially in the mortal realm. Actually, maybe don't plant it in the mortal realm.
Tony, I might need your help. I need an adult.
Tony's like so excited about this and a little jealous that everyone else is getting like these magical fucking plants and seeds to work with. But
you have the love of a dandelion. What do you want?
Yeah, we'll have a nice raised plant bed. It'll be separated and contained. We've got this. But before we go, you should also both know that Professor Mole and our new friend, Dandelion, if you ever come across
bandit?
that. Yes, he happened to be a very instrumental
the rapscallion?
member of our little...
The criminal?
Of our... a fine bud. Fine bud indeed, who helped us find your daughter.
Indeed, he sacrificed himself and his bandits in order to ensure that we could make it down into the hole where Princess Burgundy was kept along with Patches.
Well, I suppose if he lives from all of this, I can revisit my harsh restrictions on banditry in the realm.
Amazing.
You all are very strange and have given me lots to think about.
And Aoife is backing away towards the portal like, I do not want to be here a moment longer until his temper turns.
Goodbye, everybody.
Farewell.
Farewell, Princess Burgundy says, as you step through the portal and appear once again in Briar Glen. And you all have survived. You've done it. You see now, as you're looking back at Briar Glen, the hole has been mysteriously, like, paved over. It's all, I mean, the land's a mess. Like, but now you've got these magic carrots that will, like, grow and replenish your village. And Bun Bun is so happy. And, I mean, Monte, you are hailed as a hero of your people. Like, everybody said you were a hero because you were the only one with, like, literally any capability before. But, like, now you have done it. Can you please give us, like, a little story, a little montage? Like, what happens to Monte after this heroic event, please?
So I imagine that we arrive back at the village, and everybody's doing like, hey, hero. And I'm like, oh, please. I didn't do this alone. And I introduced to the other heroes that were here. And I guess we do like this whole ceremony. We have like a a lot of carrot cake
Yeah.
for everybody. The most delicious carrot cake ever.
Gilded carrot cake,
Oh,
even like
Gilded,
that like
yeah.
digestible gold. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and as I give the carrots, the blessed carrots, to the leaders of the village, and I keep like a couple of them, and I hand those to Tony to if they like. And
Yay! Oh, definitely.
okay, and so before we part ways and everything, it seems like you all have um, a bigger destiny out around here. But if you ever need help or anything, just let me know, and I will be there for you all to help you.
Keep an eye out for our letters.
Will do.
Aoife. Sorry, go ahead.
Lou will go over to him and give him a big hug and be like, first of all, you were right about the cake. So good. I'm going to name a cake after you, Limon. When I open up my restaurant, and she hands him like a little business card.
I love it so much. And I will look forward to the day that we meet again. Let's just take it. Thank you, everybody.
And Aoife will she'll reach out and extend a little felt plushie of a black cauldron filled to the brim with gold as she imparts upon a bardic inspiration to you. And she says, whenever you need just a little bit of something extra to get you there.
One of
Think
Eva's
of
lucky
us.
charms.
I am no. And Monty just grabs it in. I will always have it close to my heart. Thank you, Aoife. Oh man.
When did you make that?
It doesn't matter. She walks around
In
in
action
them.
with my class feature.
Amazing. So you all have a wonderful time. Much carrot cake has had. Monte has a glorious future of heroism before him, and you all say your farewells and head off. It's been a wonderful, perfect adventure, you all. Thank you. You did it. You survived. You fixed the sinkhole. It was all wonderful. Oh,
Man.
that was great.
Good work.
So good.
was
I love
fantastic.
them.
Nice.
I could live in the flower domestic.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The Blossom
All-
Court. It's all good. It's all good here.
I just never
all
want to
good,
ever
yeah.
meet one of those worms ever again. They can stay below the ground. I'm good. Thanks.
I'm good, thank you. Goodbye. And because though we cannot leave without doing a dream, a memory, or a letter.
Ooh.
Before you all like completed a mission, I imagine you all go back to the hut, and Monte's still enjoying his parties and such, but all of you are pretty tired as you make your way back, and drift eventually into a sleep. And Tony, you have a dream. You're walking through a dappled glade. It's just beautiful forest all around you. And for some reason now, it feels so much different than it did before. It's like you always knew the trees were there and could appreciate and feel them, but something about them, like that golden light, the way they shimmer and shine, it feels like they're talking to you. They're speaking to you. And as you move, like in this dreamlike state, going from tree to tree, you happen upon a glade, and somewhere there's a babbling brook around you, and it's just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. And across this little pond, this figure, like in golden light, steps gently across towards you. And the figure you see there, this woman, she's got green skin, and her hair is leaves that sprouted from her skin, and she smiles at you and like kind of holds her arms open in welcome. And as she looks at you, and then she suddenly looks towards the side and smiles and holds out another hand to a figure of beautiful horse that comes towards you, a green-skinned horse that you have met before. As your friend Arrow walks into the dappled light and comes towards this woman, like bowing his head, and she places, a hand on his and then looks towards you, and they both look towards you, smiling, and seem to beckon you into that light.
Drawn like a magnet. Her feet are just taking her there without any thought.
Mm-hmm. And just as you reach them, that memory, that light kind of fades everything out, and you're in that pleasant dream for the rest of it, feeling a sense of contentment, like something about your new power. It feels so right, like exactly where you were meant to be. And that's where we're going to end the episode for today. Huzzah! The Blossom Court, we survived. We helped Mother Worm. I'm so proud of you all. Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you so much, Jorge. It was so great having you here. We love Monte. I already miss him dearly.
Thank you so much to everybody. This was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love him. I will miss him.
Oh, I'm sad, but he will live on in our stomachs with his carrots and our hearts.
Yeah, forever remembered.
So thank you everybody so much for joining us. Before we go, obviously we have some announcements. We always like to take some time to thank our Patreon donors here. So let's go around. Jorge, again, remind people where they can find you, where they can support you, what you do in the TTRPG space, and then also any exciting news you have coming up.
All right, it's me, RoboGoblin. You can find me at TTRPGips on Twitter, Twitch, and Hive. What matters the most right now is that AceCon is coming February 10th to the 12th. It's going to be panels of regarding asexuality. We're going to have a all black table, all Latina table. We're going to have amazing talks with incredible creators here. And honestly, just saying this to everybody, this was a dream. Again, thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure, and honestly, dream come true. And thank you so much.
We're so happy to have you. You were our number one pick from the beginning for our first guest that we wanted on, in favor. And thank you so much for everything you gave to the show and to the story.
Thank you.
And then, in terms of other news, Nassim, you also had something you wanted to bring up as well.
Yeah, as we know, as we always want to talk about while it's still happening, the Woman Life Freedom Revolution taking place in Iran right now, still happening, still going strong. And there's definitely campaigns online trying to draw attention away from that and trying to make people think that it's slowed down. It definitely hasn't. In fact, a new act has been passed in Congress by a huge majority. The MASA Act, I believe is what it's called, to increase sanctions as well as encourage Biden administration to do everything in its power to restore internet access for the people of Iran. So that's what they're working on right now, and it's heading to the Senate at the moment. But ways that you can encourage that it doesn't die, that the people in office continue to amplify Iranian voices. As you know, nufti.org, the link we are sending out right now, there is an advocacy campaign on their website for you to find your representatives. There is a ready-to-go drafted email for you to send to your representative. They'll help you find your representative. Send it to them, call it, read it out to them, whatever it takes. Just make sure people don't forget.
Yes, you can find that link right now in chat as well as our podcast show notes there. And as we close out our show, we always like to take some time to say a huge thank you to the people who support the show by whether you're here listening or leaving a rating and review, people who hit that subscribe button, people who like, people who share, people who talk about the show, people who donate on Patreon. You all are our big goddamn heroes. We know times are tough right now, and the fact that you all keep showing up to support like just means the world to us. So thank you so much. We could not be here without you. And so with that, we always like to take some time to thank our top donor tier Patreon donors. These are the folks who donate monthly, or like you can donate annually at patreon.com/venturemaidens to help support the show, because we don't make any money doing this. You get all our stuff for free. So like you all are our lifeline. You keep the lights on, and thank you, you beautiful, wonderful people, starting with Debbie. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Curry.
Thank you, Muffin, at the one on Drury Lane on Twitter.
Thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
And for Farrah's drinking mate, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you, Markali.
Thank you, Fable.
What's up, Tony? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sheepish Gnome.
And thank you, Ben, aka Flower Crown Gaming.
You all are wonderful. You all are fantastic. I cannot wait to continue this story, all the interesting little threads we've gotten. Thank you again, Jorge, for being here. This has been just absolutely incredible. I'm not going to forget. Let's do our intros. Thank you so much, everybody. I have been your dungeon master, Celeste Conowitch.
And I am Katie, and I've been playing Laveri Seth, your drow rogue garlic chef.
Garlic chef, garlic master. And I'm Nassim Etamad. I was your half-orc fighter and baby druid, Vitonia Silvertail.
Heck yes, and I am Sage, and I have been your wheeling and dealing bard, Aoife Flannery.
Amazing. And I am Jorge, and I was Monte, the Eldritch Knight fighter.
Yes. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for listening. And until next time... Venture away! Venture away, everybody! Jorge, you're so good at that. Okay, all right. Okay, bye-bye.
We did that perfectly.